Good morning, okay.
Morning. Okay, we are up to Shin Lamed Vav. We just read Siv Zayin. I'll just to go over it. Also, Litlosh, Afilame, also She'ena Nakov. Tlisha is also even also in a Nakov, which is only also with Rabbanon. Someone asked a question yesterday about what's the difference between that and Siv Hey. Actually, the Gemara asked a question. What's the difference between also Nakov and Asavim She'ala Ala Ozen Kli? The teretz the Gemara gives is that the Asud Shein Nakov is that it's not the derech of planting. That's not. It's like kilo to look derech because it needs constant tipul. Zriya is you throw the seeds down, they grow. That's Zriya. But if you throw the seeds down, you plant it, and you have to go ahead and you have to try to coax it to grow and whatever, and it needs. In a planter, it needs to have, you need to constantly water it, and you have to, take care of it. So that's not the kederech zriya of, planting in the ground. It's a little bit, therefore it's only the rabbanon. That's what the Gemara answers. Shein kain, if you have, grasses or moss or something growing on a kli, that's normal, that happens by itself, and that's tzlisha, and therefore, that's, so therefore in Zion, Atzah Shein Nakov, Tlisha was just sort of the opposite of Zriya to a certain degree, is only Derabanan because it's not properly planted in the ground, whereas, a Savim, you think that's its ground, that's what it is. Ches Atzitz, Pirish Chatzi Kaz Shalem Al Savim, if you have an Atzitz, I feel Eino Nakov, even if it's Eino Nakov, even if it doesn't have any holes, any holes in the bottom. Yesh, Lizar, Melitlo Mi Al Gabi Karka, Anicha Al Gabi Yesedo, So Ifcha. You should be careful not to move it and take it off the karka and to put it, definitely not on the table because that blocks it. And even on top of Yesedos, even though there's no hefsek, there's only a gap, but there's no hefsek between the ground and the thing. We say that with the holes, it gets some nutrients from the ground. That's still like a me'ain of talosh, of being talisha from the ground. Bein shu sha'etz, bein shu shacheres, because there's a bachokis, Rishonim, about, some say that the question is which is more porous. Some say that cheres is more porous, and therefore it's considered nakov, even if it's not, even there's no holes in it. And some say that it's the opposite. Cheres is not porous. Eitz is porous. Eitz absorbs water more. So, and there's a machlokes. So the Shulchan Aruch is saying both stadim, or machmir both stadim, and you can't, and you consider l'kidl it's nakov, and you can't put it on pick it up. Agal yichor shel ilan shenivshach be'er Shabbos min ha'ilan. If you have a small branch, a twig, or something like that of a tree that has fruit on it, mutar litol shaperes invenu b'Shabbos, that if it went ahead and if it's falling off or something, even though it's broken off, nifshach is that it broke off and it's just hanging by a thread, then you're allowed to go ahead and to take off the pears on Shabbos because it's considered kil talish already. Tzino shemeklech maimin agag she'alu b'kashim v'asavim she'saisvim v'akvim kilucho. You have a rain gutter which is stuffed full of guch plants and who knows what else. Umeim av yotzim mitzpashtim begag, and it's flooding the roof. Dolphin labayis, and it's leaking into the house. V'macham miraglav, you're allowed to go up to the roof and step on that stuff with your feet. B'tzina, do it in the middle of the night or something. People don't see. You keep them to metakin ayadei shinui, since this is a tikkun ayadei shinui, she'ena oisa ela beraglav, you're doing it with your hand, not just pulling the guch out, you're just tramping it down so the water flows better. But it's also to go ahead and to pull it out by hand. I'm not talking about a case where it's growing there. That's partial that's a problem. Even if it's just stuffed up, it's some sort of tikkun of the bias. Therefore, it's also discussion about clogged drains and things. The question is, can you use a plunger So that seems a bit of a machlokes, whether you can use a plunger, whether that's considered that's considered fixing or not fixing in the ground. Moshe says that a clogged drain is not considered kilkul, it's not considered ruin, so there's no tikkun. It's just like washing. You have a dirty dish, and you're just washing it. So you have a dirty drain, you're just washing it, and it's not really. It's not really, but if it's like a real stima, meaning the thing like down the drain, you'd have to call a plumber or use a snake or something like that to open it. That would be also. Use a snake would be also in Shabbos. Even if you stick something down, that would be a problem. So therefore, some are matir. Some say that using the plungers of the hole, but by the toilet, poskim are more makel because of kavod abrius, that is to use the plunger to try to open up to open it up, and that's not called a tikkun. That's whatever. Hadas v'chuber muter lahariach bo. Hadas, which is the bush, you're allowed to smell it. Well, esrog v'tapuach holder aroi la'achila also lahariach bo v'mechuber. It's also to smell it if it's attached to the tree or the bush. Shema yakot so la'achlo, who smells it geshmak, and he'll pull off the apple to eat it. So therefore that would be xera not to smell it, because he might come to pull it off. Hashar chitim v'sa'arim kiyotz v'hem amayim. Areza told us zorea, someone who soaks chitim v'sa'arim, and who are then if you have other like beans or something, stuff that's going to sprout in the water, is a total zorea v'chayiv v'koshehu, and that you're chayiv v'koshehu. Hagau muter lahamid ad v'ilanos v'mayim v'shabbos. Unless the post can discuss, but if you put stuff in like a little bit of water in with like beans or something, and it turns into a mush, that's not zriya. That's something else. Even though if you put a lot of water, it could maybe these things would sprout, but if it depends on the mitzias. You're allowed to place tree branches or whatever tree in water. Like lulav, the classic case is a lulav. It's more based on by lulav. The Shushanim, as long as there's no flowers on it, because that would be considered that it's a tree branch that it's growing. By flowers, regular flowers, they say there that the fact that it's going to open up a little bit or close and whatever, that's not. It's not considered growing. That's just okay. It opens up with a tree branch, with actual branch. Putting it in water might cause it to go ahead and that's called actually like being mechayit and to grow. With the discussion about ayin l'kaban sim tafshin and daled by the lulav on Shabbos as a machlokes, whether the it's also to add in, or if it has to be that the pashas has to be was in water before Shabbos and you're just putting it back. You can't put it in l'chachila, you shouldn't do on Shabbos. Your base teinim sheyavshu bi'ibehem, figs which by their twigs, their stalks, whatever you want to call them, are completely dry and they're basically ready to fall off. Or let's say the fruits are all dried up. You're still chayiv. In Tuma, even if something touches it, it's considered it's not on the tree. Even on kosher mishpat, also there's certain things which are only the batzar, something which is already ready to fall off is considered it's detached. But for Shabbos issues, then we had before a case where the branch is hanging. That's fine. That's mostly detached. That's okay. But if it's if it's still attached, just it's dry or it's ready to fall off, it's still considered talish. Also, lishtamish b'tzidei, you can't use the sides of the tree, meaning you can't lean against it. But tzidei tzadim mutter, but you can go ahead and use tzidei tzadim. What does that mean? Also, you can't put a ladder leaning against the tree and use the ladder. Because when you go climb on it, you're using the side of the tree. If you have a peg of some sort sticking out of the tree, and mutar lismach sulam alav, you can lean the sulam on the ladder on that. However, yosei tzadim, the sulam tzadid tzadim. The yosei is tzadim. You'd be also to hang something on the peg, but or the post, whatever it is. But you're allowed to lean a ladder on that and then climb on the ladder. If you stick a peg in and you hang something on it, a basket, so you'll be allowed to put something inside the basket, but to stop hanging, you want to hang your jacket up there, that you wouldn't be allowed to do. You're allowed to touch a tree as long as it doesn't shake the tree. So that's mishtamish means that you're actually you're actually mishtamish, you're shaking it. If you have a deep bore, even if it's down very almost down, and metapis v'yored, metapis v'olad, you climb down, you climb up, you're allowed to do that. Lo chashin and shema yak or karka. We're not worried about charisha or whatever that you're digging, that you're going to go ahead and knock dirt down. That's davar she'einu miskaven, and it's vada, it's absikresha, so therefore it's mutter. So we see misasik. Shila mezayim, davar she'einu miskaven mutter. The general din is we paskin that davar she'einu miskaven is mutter on Shabbos. Not also it's mutter. But that's as long as it's not a psik reisha, which means some a malacha, which there's different ways we should describe it. I mean, the classic case in the Gemara is which I don't know why they use this case, but they said you want to go ahead and you want to give your kids someone wants to give their kids a chicken head to play with, so you cut it off for them to play with. So in order for them to play with it, you got to cut it off. So you're killing it. People always ask, like, well, why is that psik? Like, if that's worse than psik reisha, that's straight malacha. But the point is, with davar she'einu miskaven, even though you know it's going to happen, chicken's going to die. But it's davar she'einu miskaven, because it's not. I don't care about it dying. I just want to use the head. It's a. Yeah, it's a listen. I'm shown that's the case. Like, why the Gemara uses that case? I just look at the Achronim over there. It should be shown why he uses that case. But other cases, for instance, I remember the other way of Ramban understands the way to understand a psik reisha is that even if you want to do something, you start with let's say malacha A, and the tachas is malacha C. But on the way, when that malacha C is mutter and A is mutter, but on the way you have to go through malacha B, which is itself is also is the only way to get to the final stage is through that malacha. That's a psik reisha. There's no way to circumvent it. If it's a suffix, it's a suffix psik reisha. That's davar she'einu miskaven, and that would be mutter. Hilchach goyer adam mita kisei v'safsal. You can go ahead and drag a bed or a couch or whatever it is on a bench on the dirt floor. Ben gedol and ben ketanim eventually skavin lasus charitz. As long as you're not planning to make a groove in the ground, and you can use that to do whatever something. Umoter l'rabit abayis. You're allowed to go ahead and to spray. It used to be they have dirt floors in the houses. They used to make a fine mist or something to keep the dust down, make it a little bit damp. You just want to keep the dust from going up, and it's very dry, dust pops up, so you want to keep it a bit moister, so therefore it doesn't happen. Obviously, when you're dragging a bench or something or whatever, if it's a very large one, Magen Avraham says that it's clear that it's going to cause a groove in the ground. If it's, I don't know if it's talking about soft, a little bit of dirt, I don't know, but if you're talking about like an actual, dirt, this thing is very heavy, you're going to pull it along, it's going to make a big groove, so that already is a psik reisha. But here it's not clear how big of a charitz it's going to make and not, so therefore that's considered davar she'einu miskaven. Also, l'chabed habayis, you can't, well, Chaved Abayis in Hebrew, keyboard is, it means to sweep it, but it doesn't mean to sweep. It means that you have dirt floors, you want to go ahead and smooth out the floor so it's not uneven. Elim Kena Karka Marutzuf. You can't, drag something heavy over it unless the ground is, has tiles. V'yesh Matir and Afilo Enim Marutzuf. Some say it's mutter even if it's not Marutzuf, because it's not Varig or Mash Vagumos, you're just trying to go ahead and to hold down the dirt, or to make it so it's, sort of stamped down hills or whatever. It's not, if you're not going to smooth it out. It's not Varig. Yesh Machmir and Afilo Marutzuf. Some say it's also to use, to go ahead and to, it's also to do it even Marutzuf, because it's Xera out to Eina Marutzuf, that you're going to go ahead and do it by a dirt floor. But what the person say, the halacha is nowadays, is that since there's no floor, I mean, that there's, that's not, tiled, basically, there's no house, sidewalks. Nowadays, to find the dirt, you can find a dirt area, but it's not, a floor in the house is we always have stones there, or tiles.
What's going on here is a little different. Only the wealthy had stone floors, but even those stone floors, the way they were set, it's similar to the sidewalks here in Beit Shemesh, where they set the stone, and then afterwards, they put all the dirt around, so the dirt holds the stone in place. So when, according to the data, you can't sweep a stone floor, it's because what you're doing is you're pushing the dirt into the grooves of the stone to keep the stone set.
Possibly, but we're talking about even by a dirt floor.
No, the dirt floor is one thing, and then we have in this thing, we have the
Xera. Okay.
Xera on the side that if you have a stone floor, you still can't do it because of this particular aspect.
Well, it says it's a Xera. The way the lotion is that it's a Xera onto dirt floor. So I don't know.
That you might come to sweep the dirt floor.
Yeah, that's what it says. So therefore, the post can say nowadays we don't have dirt floors in the house, so therefore the Xera is bottle. Some say no, but that's a general. Beis Yosef even says that's a general halacha, that since nowadays it's the Xera is bottle because there's no Xera onto anything. They beg it.
I wanted to point out that in the Gina or on the Merpeset, you're not allowed to sweep, even if you have tile, because often the Gina or Merpeset has dirt.
Well, Merpeset
Depends if it has dirt. It depends.
There's dust, but yeah. Right, but Chatzer that has a patio or something. You have a backyard that has a patio.
Floor patio.
Yeah, so that's because that you might come to
Not be allowed to sleep.
Yeah. The beged or matlis or knaf avas or kalim. You have like a feather duster. Enumash v'gumos. It's also mutter because you're not going to. That's not going to do anything. It's just sweeping the dust. But also the chabed of golin on the mechabdos of the suyim miksamim. You can't. Shelo yishtabru kismehem. You might come to break the. If you want to sweep the clothing, whatever, you might come to break the sticks. We're talking about it. So a broom, old-fashioned broom that has straw sticks and whatever. So you shouldn't use that because it could come to. It could come to break off and it's a slice of the kli. Even though but the old brooms even still they didn't break off so much, but. Yeah, I don't say it's a psik racial because it's something is very old to happen. It still goes around it. I don't know. Gimel ein sakin is a karka. You can't put sheven on the ground or whatever. L'medichim I say afilu humerutzef, and you can't wash the floor even if it's merutzef. You can't wash it. They say even though nowadays you don't have dirt floors, but the poskim are more machmir when it comes to washing the floor. Obviously, something spills on the floor a little bit. You're allowed to, put some water there and clean it up. The problem is washing the whole floor. is a problem. If in one area, that's fine. Also, l'tzadei chavis al haaretz. It's also to tip a barrel on the side on the ground. To keep it shu kveda yovo ashvas gumos vade ha'ipsik reisha. Because if you tip it on its side, it's so heavy. If there's any on the ground or whatever, if there's any hole and hill or whatever, it's gonna. Yeah.
Dealing with filling the stones. All of this, I believe, is dealing with filling the gaps within the stones, which has got multiple problems with it.
It could be.
This is talking about a dirt floor. This is talking about a
dirt floor. That's what I understood. It's talking about a dirt floor, even outside. Talking about a dirt floor, and it's gonna weigh down the dirt. Well, that's if you roll it, even without rolling it. I'm not sure if it's even without rolling it. I'm not sure because we're going to get to the next couple of simanim about playing with marbles and things or whatever. All right, let's do a bit more. Shin Lamachas Hashmas Kol Bekli Shir Aser. To go ahead and play an instrument is Aser. Aval Hakish Al Hadeles, but to knock on the door. If you Kisheino Derech Shir Mutter. If you're not going, that would be a problem. But if you're just knocking, it's not a problem. If you don't do anything, you don't do any maisa, like you're singing, whatever it is. They whistle to their friends. You're allowed to whistle to your friends. Singing a tune is a discussion. But to whistle, to do a whatever, to catch your friend is mutter. V'asur lahakos, b'Shabbos al delos v'tabas, v'delos you're not allowed to use a door knocker. There's no shear with it. Because since you're trying to make a knock with it, and let's say it doesn't work, whatever, the thing's off its hinge a little bit, you might come to fix the hinge so you can use the door knocker, so therefore it's also because it makes a noise. Anything which makes a noise is a kli which makes a noise is also because you might come to go ahead and fix it. But also l'shamish l'hakos al hadelos sikol beis hakneses. They used to have the vecker in the shtat to go ahead, the shtedel to go around and wake people up for shul. Whether people would sleep in or not, whether you would throw water in them, I don't know. But he had a big, some sort of hammer or something to bang on the doors. That would be usher. Then he has to go ahead and just use his hand to go ahead and to knock on the door. He can't use his big booming knocker. Yesh matirin lomar leini Yehudi l'nagi mikli shir b'chupos. If a chuppah would extend, which in Europe there wasn't anything like that, would extend into Shabbos, you're allowed to tell a goy to go ahead and to play music for them. For the chassan kala, agav afil lomer le'eni Yehudi l'taken kli shir shari should call the chassan v'kala, even to go ahead and to ask the goy to metaken the kli shir for kol chassan v'kala is mutter. But also you can't ask the goy to go ahead and fix the thing. Because it's mutter shushayim. People aren't going to listen anyway, so it's better they're ignorant of the halacha than being wise about the halacha. Just a couple of the makuros and we'll stop. Discussion about alarm clocks. What about using alarm clocks? So the post makel because alarm clocks is Shmas Kol. Everyone knows it's an alarm clock. Shaila is, can you use a phone that has a niggin to wake you up on Shabbos? Because that, because part of Hashmas Kol is that you might come to Tikkun, it's not working, you come to attacking it. I don't know. I didn't see anyone discuss about, I have to look at Mamish Monday Post, I don't see anyone discuss about using cell phones to play music. But L'chora might be a problem, because also putting a stereo on timer is a problem. Hashmas Kol, Zilzul Shabbos. It's known that people use a phone to wake themselves up, but this song, that song, this, no one knows, so it could be, might be a problem of a Shema Skol, on Shabbos. We'll get into a few other issues about, in the next segment about, like I said, Tipuach Rikud and dancing on Shabbos and whatever. It's Nagiyat here, it's Nagiyat there, and we'll continue, tomorrow.